I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and I am sitting next to the queen, Miss Jessie from the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, baby. I was going to say Jessie from Mom Talk, which is also accurate.
I guess
but
it's accurate.
Like, you're also the queen of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I mean, am I? I saw an interview today that Whitney and Macy did.
Oh, yeah, they're like the new queen bee.
And Whitney's like, no.
We're going to be talking about Whitney here in a minute. We're going to be talking about it all. There's a lot of juice, a lot of trash, a lot of things we need to take out, dumpster deep dive, discuss.
Yes.
A lot of people wanted to know about like you and your hair and your divorce. And I say, go to the first episode because we talk all about
Thank
that.
God we did that.
No, that was like before your life blew up the way it has.
I feel like both of our lives have changed so much since
it's been different
episode. Yeah.
Like you came, you were pregnant. It was when I would podcast at night.
Yes.
I wasn't filming.
We were up here. We were down here till like midnight or later.
It was literally past midnight. I can, because we just chatted after.
And it was when that snowstorm had hit, remember?
And it was insane.
Wild.
No, times have changed. We do it during the day now.
You have like a legit setup now.
I wouldn't say legit. I mean, that ring light is hanging on by a thread, but we are making it work, Jessie.
No, it's amazing.
We're making it work. But if you guys want to know about like all things Jessie before Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, definitely go listen to the first one. That was literally 2 years ago. That's so great.
But it's also accurate. So
it is.
A debriefing.
Because a lot of people wanted to know about like your first marriage, the divorce. Yeah. Did you cheat?
Yes.
All those things. And that's in the first one. But I need to just talk to you all about Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
There's so much to unpack.
You are the talk of the town.
Yes.
Especially here in Utah.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people's TikTok For You pages look like, but mine is only
same.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Me too.
That's
Since the show was announced, my whole For You page has been Mormonism in general.
And
now it's the show, which is like so weird to like scroll and just see me and my friends. It's so
Is
surreal.
it a little triggering? Like,
no.
Does it almost make you not want to go on or no?
No. Oh, for me, I feel like I was in a good place on the show. Like, of course, everyone's getting hate, but like, I feel like I was mostly problematic or unproblematic.
Yeah.
So I'm fine, but I'm sure some of the other girls might feel different.
A little triggered. Yeah. We'll talk about that. But first I want to just dumpster deep dive how you got on the show.
Yes.
Because I remember when I went on your podcast, you were kind of telling me like, I think I might be on this show.
Yes, I forgot about that.
And I was like, the fuck? You're not a mom talker. I told you that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you're not friends with them? Well, that's so random.
I forgot about that.
So random.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is also brought to you by Bohm. Bohm was founded in 2006 by sisters Vivian and Fernanda Bohm, who immigrated from Brazil to the U.S. and overcame numerous challenges to launch their fashion label. Bohm has grown into a thriving company with over 200 employees in store locations across the western U.S. Bohm is your ultimate fashion fall destination. From versatile denim to stunning dresses that make a statement, Bohm has everything you need to transition into the season with style. Their collection seamlessly combines comfort and trend, ensuring you look and feel great. You can get 20% off right now with code 20weeklytrash when you go to bohm.com, BOHME.com, and use code 20weeklytrash, and you'll discover how Bohm's fall essentials can refresh your wardrobe and elevate your seasonal style. And thank you, Bohm, for sponsoring today's episode. But now looking back, I'm like, this is actually perfect and you fit in great.
Thank you.
But it was a little random at first.
Yes, it
Even
was.
You were like, huh? So let's talk about that. Like, how did that come to fruition?
So I remember this was like, so I had my baby January 2023 and I got a DM like, this is 2 months later in March. I got a DM from Macy and me and her had followed each other and knew of each other. And she's like, hey, I don't know if you've heard, but we have filmed like a reality show pilot and the producers are wondering if anyone I know is interested in like being on the cast, would you want to interview? And I'm always down for anything. Like I'll say yes to anything once. So I'm like, sure, like give them my number. And a few days later, I get a text from a producer and they're like, hey, could you jump on a Zoom call in like 30 minutes? I was in the middle of getting my hair done. So I had half a head of foils and I was like, amazing. So I did the interview, half a head of foils, and they told me like they loved that. They're like, you were so real. And so, I did that. And then like a week later, they came out and they did in-person interviews with anyone that they liked on the Zoom call. Yeah. And I think I heard they interviewed like 100 girls, like influencers.
Well,
in the
there's
area.
so many here.
They had their pick. Like it was amazing. So we went, it was like at a hotel and we like went into this like ballroom and they had like the whole get up set up. Yeah. And they interviewed us and it was me and Jordan and we just asked, like they just asked us questions. We interviewed. It was like
Did they want Jordan there? Like were they like,
they asked for your husband to come. Okay. So they did me on my own and then they did us together. And then it was just more like, okay, we'll let you know. Like good to meet you. Okay. And then it was maybe 2 months later until I heard something. And so I kind of just like kept living my life. And then it wasn't even an official like, you're on the show. It was just all of a sudden I was just like put into group chats and it was like, hey, we're going to start filming soon. And like the girls started like coming to my salon to get their hair done. We all started hanging out. It was just like I was just in. It was
just like
strange.
bing, bada boom.
Yeah, very quickly. But then we didn't start filming till the next January. So from June until January, I was doing a lot of their hair. We would go on girls' trips. We would hang out because me, Jen, and Layla had been the new hires, the new cast.
Yeah.
So we started integrating into the group. So we actually had about 7 months of like getting to know each other before filming, which was so beneficial.
I'm sure.
We went on like 2 different trips together, hung out. And then, so yeah, me, Jen, and Layla had all been interviewed, got brought on. Layla was originally a part of Mom Talk. So that's why she was brought on. And then Jen was just like me, not a part of it, but like in the influencer circle. And then we started filming in January.
Did you immediately click with anybody specifically?
So I would say in the very beginning, I really gravitated to Jen and Layla because we were the new girls. Yeah. So at the very beginning, it kind of felt like them and us, right?
Yeah.
But then as time went on, like me and Demi just got along so well. We're like best friends now.
Yeah.
Me and Taylor have gotten along really well. But honestly, all of the girls, like me and Michaela kind of had some beef in the beginning. Same with me and Macy. They ended up not showing it, but like we had some drama on the show.
Okay.
And now they're my closest friends too. So
what did that drama entail?
It was hair drama.
Oh, yeah. Because they went to Hair by Chrissy?
They went to Hair by Chrissy. I had to confront them.
Did producers want you to confront them, or did you want to confront them?
It's kind of funny because so it was actually real. So Michaela went to my mom when they were filming the pilot. So Michaela's blonde hair in the first episode was like what my mom did.
Yeah.
And then she went to Chrissy.
Mama Styles?
Yes, Mama Styles.
Shout out.
On TikTok. She went to Chrissy like 4 weeks later.
Yeah.
So I messaged her. This is before I even met her.
I actually remember this.
Yes. And I was like, why did you do that? Like, you're just
look
popping.
bad.
Yeah. Like we wouldn't have given you free hair. So we kind of got into it. So they kind of wanted me to like resurface that. And then Macy and Whitney had also both gone to me and then gone elsewhere. So like it was kind of a combination of that.
Yeah.
But then so much other stuff happened that I think that was just obviously
irrelevant.
bigger. Exactly. So
yeah. What was their response to you calling them out?
They were like, Michaela hates confrontation. So she actually like halfway through got up and like walked away and like tried to get a drink to like, like I'm not here. Michaela and Whitney were like, this was in early days of filming, like week 2. So it was the first like confrontation of the filming. So like I think they were all just like, sorry. Like we all felt like so awkward.
Yeah.
But now I feel like if it had happened now, like I would be
they
like,
would be
way more.
There
yeah, we would all
be cry in a closet, like one of the two.
1000%. Yeah.
Just kidding, Whitney, if you're listening. Like you're going through it right now, okay?
Yeah,
like, I love
not
you.
to dump on you while you're down.
But sorry, we're gonna a little bit because we have to talk about it.
Yeah,
like,
it's just the facts.
It's all over TikTok. Like we can't.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start filming right off the bat, getting into it. Could you tell from the beginning that Whitney would be a villain? In quotations, villain.
No. So the funny thing is, going into it, I was nervous to meet Taylor. I met her before filming, but the first night I was going to hang out with her, I was like so nervous because you just see her on
the persona. Yeah.
Yeah. And like watching the first episode, that was the Taylor that like I knew from online.
I don't give a fuck. I'm going to get drunk. Fuck you. Let's go.
No, literally.
I have no values.
And that Taylor I never knew. So like watching that, I'm like, who is this? Because then you skip to the season. That's who Taylor is now.
Yeah.
Just so different.
A gem.
Yeah. But the first night I like instantly bonded with her. We like told each other our life stories. Amazing. Right. So after that, I was like, okay, well, I thought Taylor was going to be our villain, but now I'm not sure.
Did you ever think you'd be the villain?
I actually did. Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah. I thought I was going to be the villain because I'm the ex-Mormon.
That's what I thought too.
And part of me was like, I'm the only one that like has a real job.
No, you're successful.
Yeah, like all these other girls are influencers. I'm coming in as a business owner. Like I could play into that maybe.
I thought that.
Or maybe the girls come at me. So yeah, I actually, not that I was wanting to be the villain, but I did think there could be a chance. So I didn't go in being like, oh, I think that's them or them. I just knew I was in a place where maybe I wouldn't like fit in, right?
Yeah.
So that was my thought. But no, I had known Whitney for 2 years before. She was the first one I ever met. I did her hair for a while. So I knew she was like impulsive and a little out there, but I never thought she'd be the villain. I thought she would just kind of be like the wild child.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shocked me. Yeah.
When did you see the shift?
Day 1. Literally.
Really?
So going in, I didn't expect it. But day 1, they didn't show this, but we had a lunch where all of us girls were in Park City eating. And it was immediate Whitney attacking Taylor, coming at her so hard. And at that point, I had no idea there were like pent up feelings. But it was like, I mean, you saw this on the show, but like F word every other sentence, like fuck Taylor, fuck. And I was just like, what? So I think all of us were taken aback, and that's what made me realize, like, I think she's coming in trying to make Taylor the villain so that she can be
the
Queen
good
Bee.
guy.
Yeah. So I saw it that first day, and then it just continually got worse. So
Okay.
but I wasn't expecting that. It was very weird.
Do you feel like from the like right off the bat, you made a pact with anybody? Like, okay, we're going to make sure that we don't get involved in this. Or if they attack me, like you stick up for me.
Yeah.
And were there pacts being made? I know there was the Sinner and the Saints, but like
and that actually just progressed over the course of filming. Like it wasn't like that going into it. If anything, it was me, Jen, Layla, and the OGs. Like that's how it felt. And
where was Demi in that though? Because Demi wasn't.
She was actually in the pilot. So she was in that scene where Whitney was telling about Connor. So she was in there.
Okay.
So it felt like them against us, not because they were mean to us. It was just we were the new girls, right?
Yeah.
So no, I didn't have a pact with anyone. I will say me and Jen knew that we would probably get pit against each other because she's the most active and I'm the least. So we went into it being like, even if that happens and we get put in those dynamics, let's just like behind the scenes, like work on our friendship and like talk to make sure we're good.
I love that.
Which was great. And
That
I
is
think
great.
that to this day, that's still how we operate, which is awesome. And that was the only thing really, but I went into it really just wanting to be genuinely who I am.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like have calculations. I just wanted to go in and have what happens happen. Because I think when you watch reality TV, you can tell who has a plan and who's not being themselves and who's not, or who is.
Absolutely. You can see alternative motives for sure. I do want to ask you something about Jen. So I need to like put a pin in it because I want to remember that. But I also want to go back and just talk about you being who you are because I feel like you've gotten a lot of backlash since the promo of people, you know, saying horrible things about you, your business. And I just want to say, as someone who has known you for years now, you are the most girls, supportive, kind, uplifting. And I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass, Jessie. Like, truly, I had somebody ask me just the other day, they're like, you can tell me, like, is Jessie a bitch? And I was like, I'm going to be so fucking for real with you. She is the complete opposite of a bitch. And maybe I've just had the best experiences with you. I don't know, but I truly think the world of you and I think you're amazing.
I do get a bad rep though.
Yeah.
Online.
And
People always assume.
I don't understand it because as somebody who literally has seen you and been friends with you, and I want to say you were a trasher before it was cool.
Yeah.
Like
I listened from day one.
You listened from day one. I remember when I threw my first party and I did RSVPs, your email came through and I was like, is somebody pranking me?
I think I DM'd you first.
Yeah. And so like you've been so supportive, so kind, and I was a nobody. I didn't have a following. I wasn't an influencer, and you were so kind.
Thank you.
And so I just need everyone like listening and watching. Like if you don't see that in her, like fuck you. Okay. You don't know her because truly like watching people bash you online has like really like made me defensive a little bit.
Oh, well, thank you. It's funny because I think that anytime you're put in a position of success or spotlight, you're going to get that.
Yeah.
But I've also lost a lot of friends publicly. So I get that people are like, you're the common denominator.
Which we talked about that in the first episode.
So go listen to that. Like it makes sense to me. So I get it. But I will say I've gotten a lot of comments from like my community specifically of hairdressers being like, I wasn't sure about you going into this and now I love you. So I'm like, okay, good.
Oh, good.
They got to see more of me other than just like what's online, you know?
Yeah. Has it affected business at all in a good way or a bad way?
Okay, so when the trailer dropped, I'm not going to lie. I have a tough skin. Usually I don't get rattled. I was rattled night one because us girls, we dropped the trailer and then we were looking at comments and all of a sudden I started getting all these things tagging my business. Like you're going to go under. I can't believe you do this. Your business is done. I had stylists getting texts from clients like, are you still going to be at Jay-Z? Because if so, I can't support you. And I was like,
you're joking.
No. And I was starting to freak out. I'm like, am I ruining other people's lives? Like what? Like I started to panic. But then the dust settled a little. And now that the show's out, it's complete opposite. I have people booking flights to come get their hair done. And we've had way more traffic on our website than ever before. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I just had to trust the process because I knew what I filmed and I knew I didn't do anything I was embarrassed of for the most part, other than showing my vagina. But nothing
like,
too
that's
bad.
Not embarrassing. That's real. That's raw, baby.
It is. It's motherhood.
Show those beefcakes.
Exactly. One of my stylists was like, it was like watching an Arby's commercial. I was like, amazing.
Just a blurred Arby's commercial.
But no, overall, I was a little worried for like a day.
Yeah.
But then I just remembered like I've dealt with noise and hate before. This is a bigger level, but it's going to be worth it because at the end of the day, like I know what I did and I know what all of us girls did and I'm proud of it. So
Has there been anybody who was like maybe standoffish after the trailer dropped and kind of made you feel like shit, but now is like, I'm so proud of you?
Oh my gosh. I would say anyone in my actual life has been so supportive. Like I showed all of our stylists at a salon meeting the night the trailer dropped, like before it came out, and they were all like, oh my gosh. So no, in my real life, it's been good. But I will say, like, since the show's come out, I've definitely had like people from high school message me or just anyone from the past being like, oh, so not that that's a bad thing.
No.
But it is interesting to see all of a sudden people come forward, you know.
Come out of the woodwork.
Yes.
Like, I love you.
Yeah, which I appreciate.
Like,
but
thanks.
it is interesting because I'm like, you wouldn't have messaged me probably if not. But.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Jen and you guys having that talk of, oh, no matter what, like, we're going to work on our friendship. I want to talk about the scene of you drinking at Zach's parents' house.
Yes.
Because as a viewer that has a critical brain, I'm like, okay, producers maybe push that a little bit, but also maybe that was totally you and Jordan.
Yeah.
Why bring alcohol to Zach's parents' house, Jessie?
Okay, so there's a little bit of backstory and context that wasn't shown.
Okay, of course.
So, always, right?
Of course.
So first of all, you know Jen, okay?
Yeah.
So she is a devout Mormon, but she loves to like party and dance.
She's
sober.
chill. She's
sober.
fun. Yeah.
But yes, she loves to, like, every time we travel, she's like, let's go to a club.
Yeah.
So the plan for that night was the party at Zach's parents, and then we were literally going to Sky Bar and going clubbing.
Okay.
So in Jordan's
With the
head,
husbands?
yes.
Okay.
And so we were going to a club after. She got us a table, like everything. So in Jordan's head, he's like, I'm going to pregame because drinks are $15 a drink.
If not more.
Exactly. So that's a normal thing when you're
Yeah.
in that world, right? So he's like, I'm just going to pregame a little in the hot tub when the parents aren't around. It was like an after party, right? So obviously wasn't the right move, but I think in his head he was just like a little bit and then we'll go, right? Because we were Ubering. So I normally don't drink liquor, by the way. I'm like wine only.
Okay.
Like I don't love liquor, but I was like, I want to have a fun night. We're going to a club, and if I'm going to like do that, I'm going to have a drink because I don't like to be in clubs sober.
It's sweaty, gross, stinky,
Yeah,
weird.
exactly.
Me and Macy, actually, side note, we went on a double date after Macy came on the podcast forever ago.
Oh, with your husband?
With our husbands,
Okay,
which is funny because my husband is like the most antisocial person.
I know
Poor
you said
Jacob was
that.
probably like, kill me, your husband's weird.
But Jacob's also kind of chill,
yeah,
though.
it was like chill, but then Macy's like, we should go to like a club. And I had never been to a bar or a club. Again, Macy doesn't drink. So I was like, why the fuck are we going? But okay. And like, we weren't like super close. So I couldn't be like, why are we doing this? So I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Macy, if you're listening, I love you. But like, we go and I'm just like,
Where was it? Which one?
It's the one that has like the different levels.
Lake Effect?
Yes, Lake Effect.
That's like the most known one, yeah.
And I was like, this is weird. We're sober.
Yeah,
we're
can I get a Diet
married. We're married. We're sober.
Yes.
We're just sitting here, and my poor husband was like, "I'm just being so brave right now, because I hate my life."
It's not an environment for being sober. Like it's not fun.
People.
No, it's not.
No. So you wanted to pregame?
Yes, and I wasn't drinking a ton. I think I had 2 drinks total that night, and so, but like in our heads, we were just like, "Yeah, pregame," because that's what we would do with our friends who were going out. So wrong move, and I did apologize to Jen, but that was like our thought process, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like in the trailer, there was like a confrontation with
that.
but
and it didn't get shown. Which I was surprised by because I thought for sure it would be since it was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Me and Jen took our kids to Color Me Mine, and she brought it up because it was like a few days later, and she was like, the way she said it though to me, like,
how does drinking make you a better mom?
Yeah, my face, that was really like my reaction. I was like, because I wasn't expecting that. Like that felt like an attack on me as a mom, and I think I had responded with like, they have nothing to do with each other. I'm not drinking in front of my kids.
Yeah,
so.
You're not getting shit faced and then taking them to preschool.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't have a problem. I drink once a month, if that.
Yeah.
So I felt a little put on the spot there, but I also understood she was upset because her in-laws, if they had found out, would have come after her, and now we know her dynamic is a little tough,
is
so I get
tough and sad.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it a little bit because that's why you're here.
I mean, we all decided to put it out there, so we're gonna get questions.
When Jen came on the podcast after we recorded, she told me what to expect.
Okay.
And the part she left out was the gambling situation.
Yeah. I wonder if she like didn't
like
know that was
I wonder if she forgot. I don't know. But it kind of changed things a little bit because I'm like, the hypocrisy in this is insane. Yeah. Insane, because if you know anything about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, gambling is just as bad as drinking, as watching porn. Like,
and in my head, even worse because he did put their family in a really tough spot before this happened. Yes. So it's like, that's bad.
So did any of you tell her that when that was happening?
Oh, yeah.
When he was getting so insanely upset with her about just being in the same room as a Chippendale stripper while he's gambling $2,500 of her money. I know they're married, so it's their money, but
it was an allowance,
let's
be honest.
That's pretty fucked up.
And when they were packing, you could see how giddy he was about it. Like it was an addict being like, oh my gosh. You know?
And so were you guys like, Jen, he's gambling.
Yes.
Like, why don't you call him out on that?
Yeah, that was a huge, huge aspect of it. Yeah, it was. And for me, it was the hypocrisy of you're getting mad at her for doing this, but you're gambling and talking very badly to her, two things the church would not have put up with or teaches, right?
No.
So yeah, it was not only his behavior towards her, but the hypocrisy that he's at a table gambling while texting her these things. And he stayed out gambling till I think 1 a.m.
Well, yeah, and then he let her go find him in a Vegas isn't a safe place for a woman to be walking, especially Jen.
Yes.
Jen's a hottie with the body.
Yes.
Her cute little
And then the next day, we did not hear from her. I think it was 4 p.m. till 4 p.m. So we were like, she's taken. She's gone. Like, he killed her.
Did she tell production not to follow her? Were they like, do not follow me?
This is what happened. And I wish we thought about waking up the crew when this happened because we were like, oh my gosh, but we decided not to. So at 2 a.m., me and Layla were sharing a room. Jen and Demi were sharing a room. Demi comes in at 2 a.m., wakes me and Layla up. All of a sudden, she's just standing over our bed and she goes, guys, Jen's gone. And we're like, what? She tells us about the text that she saw them, told us everything. And then she said Jen took an Uber to Zach. But what they left out is that Zach the whole night on their text had been like, don't come to me. I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Up until he was done gambling. And then it flipped to, if you don't get here within 15 minutes, we're done. So she had to literally rush. So Demi made Jen share her location with her so she could track her, which was good. So she did that, left, took an Uber, but then she stopped sharing her location, I'm pretty sure. So then after that, we had no clue. So we were going to wake up the crew, but we were like, it's 2 a.m. Like, we'll just wait it out. And then the next morning, like, even they couldn't get a hold of her. None of us heard from her until later that day. And it was really scary.
Yeah.
Because we knew how mad he was and we saw her like bawling that night.
No, it was really hard to watch. And even, like I said, she gave me like a heads up of what to expect. And told me, she even said it on the podcast, like, we're in a good place. Like, we've done a lot of work. And so I was really shocked by it because I was like, this is not at all the story that I was expecting.
I do wonder if she thought that wasn't going to be shown or something. I don't know. Maybe that's why I think he has had a hard time with watching the show.
But that's the thing is, like, they knew.
They did know because it was filmed.
Like, that scene is as hard as it was to watch as a friend. As a viewer, that is reality TV gold.
Oh yeah,
and so they're gonna use that.
Yeah,
you're working through that. You're going to therapy, and this is a conversation I want to have with Zach and Jen. I mean, I know she had said like, we would love to come on after. I don't know if that's still a thing.
We'll see.
But like, you were working through it. Like, you had to have known.
Yeah, this is the thing about Jen, and she admits this herself, which is why I'm saying it. She said this on a podcast we did last week. Her toxic trait is she puts on rose-colored glasses and she's like, everything's fine. Yeah. And I think that stems from her childhood. She grew up with foster kids, and I think a lot of the times she did have to put on a brave face. So I think when things like this happen, she just is like, everything's good. This was meant to happen. We're better than ever. She's done that a lot. And we saw that cycle throughout our season. Even stuff that wasn't shown. Like, this was a constant issue.
Really?
So as her friends, we've all been like this, like, us confronting her on camera about Zach wasn't the first time, and it won't be the last. So we have seen this pattern, and it worries me for her because I think she's such, like, her, she's such a light.
She's a light.
She's a light. Bubbly. And in my opinion, he dims it. And I'm not afraid to say that because I've been in a relationship like that and I've seen that happen. So I wish she could see that. And I don't know where they're at in this moment, but I do know they're probably not in a great place. I'm assuming just because the show is going to be hard for his family to watch, his friends. Like, she's probably getting a lot of backlash, which is crazy because it was his fault. But
no, it's insane.
It's really sad. But I do hope that if they can work through this, that like he does take accountability and she can put some boundaries in place that she can't be talked to like that.
Yeah.
It needs to happen because I know it's a pattern, and it's really sad to watch as a friend. Like, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. Like, me and Demi were like the only ones like really standing up, and everyone else was just like, yeah. And we were just like, no.
Well, and you're also the only well, besides Layla, and Layla kind of spoke up a little bit at one point too. Yeah. A little. Layla, speak up more, please.
Yeah, she will next season, I promise you.
I'm like, come on, let's get some more out of you, Layla, girly. But you guys are the ones that have been divorced.
Yes.
And you kind of show that even if you get divorced, you can make it out of it bigger and better.
Yes.
And not saying that they need to do that, but like, I think when people who are in happy marriages give you advice, it's kind of like, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Like you don't understand.
Yeah.
Where when people who have had hard relationships or have had to work through things, if they're the ones giving you advice, not even advice, just like supporting you in whatever you choose, you're like, okay, well, they've been through some hard stuff, so they understand that.
Well, in Jen's situation specifically, like I think I talked about it a little on the show, but in reality, I talked about it way more, just didn't get shown. Her relationship and her in-laws specifically literally to a T reminded me of my ex-in-laws and my ex-husband. And I would tell her all the time, like, there are so many similarities, just the Mormon culture alone. And so her situation did trigger me. And not that it was about me, but like I've been through it and I'm seeing in real time what's happening. And I told her, I said, you're going to be divorced in 10 years because you're young right now and you're not seeing it. You're going to go through a midlife crisis in 10 years. We see a lot of people in this culture do that. And I'm just trying to help you prevent that for your kids' sake, you know? And who knows, maybe they'll work it out. But just from what I've seen, I don't think that, I just don't know. I don't know. It's so hard to speak on it.
And I also think saying this too, like how you're saying, like telling her like in 10 years, you know, it's going to be rough. I can see how Zach would then make you a villain.
100%. He wants to isolate her from all of us.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. Like, seeing what I said about him, he probably never wants to see me again.
He probably is like, you're actually part of the problem.
Yeah, but I did warn her. Like, all of us warned her, like, things we said about Zach in confessionals.
Okay.
She knew. And she told us, I don't blame you. Like, she was not mad about it, but I don't know if she warned him about that. I don't know.
Did you guys have to tell each other a lot of things before it aired? Like, hey, just in case, I did say you were a fucking bitch.
So the group outside of Whitney, no, because we really didn't turn on each other much. Because like all this stuff happened at the girl fights, like in person. Watching the confessionals, I didn't feel like anyone really went behind each other's backs other than like maybe to Taylor a little, but Taylor expected that. And I guess to Taylor, we had said things like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, no. But I think also with Whitney, the bridges were burned before the show was done. So like we didn't feel like we had to tell her what we said anything. Because what did we owe her at that point? But if she had maybe come back into the group, then we would have.
I want to like talk about that dynamic with Whitney and, you know, you're not part of Mom Talk. We're in the no longer Whitney era. Or what did you say in one of your confessionals?
Like post-Whitney
era.
Yes.
Because as a viewer, I'm like, okay, yeah, like she wasn't like the best of friends, but she didn't fucking kill anybody.
Yeah,
Like, and I feel like online people are just devouring her. And I don't feel like it's really equivalent to what she did online. I mean, I watch a lot of reality TV.
Yes.
She ain't a villain.
No.
Like she ain't a good friend in a lot of scenes.
I actually think her RSV video is just the catalyst to now people being like, oh, she already showed us who she is. Now this is even more.
Sorry to interrupt, but I need to let you know about one of my favorite sponsors, Spearmint Love. Spearmint Love isn't just another baby boutique, it's a trusted name in the baby space. Known for its own Spearmint Love brand and huge selection of high-quality baby essentials and holiday collections, aka Halloween's coming up. But they also have fast shipping from their Arizona headquarters. Spearmint Love delivers the best for your little ones. And like I said before, Halloween is coming up, and the Spearmint Love Halloween shop is to die for. From their aesthetic and high quality organic cotton waffle line to fun designs in super soft viscose made from bamboo line of zip rompers, hoodies, tutus, and two-piece sets, there's a print and style for every little one. Matching prints and coordinating colors for siblings from size newborn to 6 years old. Whether you're dressing a little brother or a big sister, the Halloween collection truly has a style that will keep everybody looking festive. As you know, love a theme. So having to get outfits for all three kids from one store is like heaven sent. There's so many cute and unique options for the baby's first Halloween. So obviously go ham, but it's just nice to have options for not just babies. So I can get something for Bentley, Brooks, and Banks. Slay. Go to their website, ordering coming home outfits from the hospital or a birth announcement photo outfit. Everything is so cute and so soft. The prints are unique, like I said, and photogenic, and the aesthetic is amazing. So head on over to experimentlove.com and use code WEEKLYTRASH at checkout for 25% off your order. That's experimentlove.com, code WEEKLYTRASH for 25% off. Have fun and go get yourself some Halloween goodies for those kiddos. And thanks, Spearmint Love, for sponsoring today's episode.
I think that's really why.
Because what for you personally was your first red flag where you were like, I don't want to be friends with you?
That first lunch where she was just like, fuck Taylor, fuck this. I'd never seen anyone say the F word so much, which obviously I don't have a problem with.
Yeah.
But she was supposed to be returned missionary.
Yeah.
Like she is Mormon. So I just
She's
wasn't
very
expecting
devout.
it. Yeah. And then for her to just come at Taylor that hard the first day made me feel like, ooh, like maybe she is a little calculated and I need to watch out for that. Because if she turns on me, she could do this to me. So I just had my guard up a little. And then I think when it actually did start to turn is when that divorce party happened and she confronted me.
Yeah.
I was trying not to out anyone. Like, I didn't want to be like, well, Michaela said this and, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was just kind of beating around the bush being like, everyone said things. But before that, I had heard from Michaela specifically, who was best friends with her, that she was starting to like have trust issues with her. And she's like, this has been a pattern over the last couple years and I'm now getting to my breaking point. Layla said the same thing. Jen said the same thing. Everyone who had issues with her. Macy is loyal to Whitney and I commend her for it. She's a great friend. But she would say like, yeah, I have noticed this, but I love Whitney.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I'm seeing a pattern. And that just kind of made me realize like, okay, this is who she is. And I would see her do it to people, like tell this person this thing. And then at my depot party, you came to that, right? Or no?
Remember, I couldn't get it. I texted you right before. I was like, my babysitter canceled.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes, I forgot. But
Caleb
okay,
was out of town. I was pissed.
I didn't even make it, so it's
I
fine.
heard it was I heard you
Oh,
were lit.
did you see my TikTok?
Yes.
Yep, I was lit.
Yes.
But
that was your one time a month.
I'm like, they could have used that to like play into my alcoholism.
Yeah, what were they thinking? Come on, next season.
Yeah, no, literally. But at that party was actually all of us girls, everyone came and all of us kind of went at Whitney because we finally were all in a room together and we were like, no, this is how we feel. And she admitted in that conversation that she does like to have control and she does like to be the person that knows everything and tells people. Like she literally said that.
Yeah.
So after that, I was like, okay, self-awareness, that's great. But also it confirmed what I thought about her.
Was that before or after Park City?
That was after.
Okay.
Wait. Was the divorce party after Park City?
Yes.
Yes. So then it was after the divorce party.
Okay.
So that made me kind of like solidify that. And then her leaving the group chat, not coming to our girls' trips, didn't come to anything. We invited her. She just didn't come. Macy's launch party. Like that of all things pissed me off because they are really best friends and she chose not to support Macy in that moment and like put the shit aside. That to me was just like unforgivable after all Macy's done for her. So I think overall I was just like, I'm not really interested in being your friend because I'm just seeing how you are.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like you're right. She didn't kill anyone. She's not like this mean, evil person. No. But I think now, like, have you seen her TikToks the last couple of days? I'm like, she's really leaning into it and she's not apologizing, not taking accountability. And us as a group, we've all said, like, if she did come back and like take accountability or just at least apologize, we'd be like, fine, move on. Like, we've all had fights, you know? But she is leaning in so hard to this like victimhood that I don't even know where to go at this point.
Well, and that's the thing with reality TV. It's like, yeah, producers can kind of manipulate things, but they can only do so much.
They can only edit what you give them.
Yeah.
You know?
And so if you do say that, or if you did do that and you didn't show up here, that's on you.
It is. And I will say, like, obviously production is a thing. They put you in situations, obviously, like that maybe you wouldn't be in normally.
Yeah,
but like
you choose how to
everything you
do it.
say and do is you. And I will say, after watching, everyone was like pretty accurately portrayed to like my experience filming. Yeah, like I don't think anyone was done dirty. I think it was exactly how I remember living it.
So if Whitney doesn't come back, well, first, do you think there'll be a second season? I think there's going to be a second season.
I think so, just because
I think there's going to be a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth. It's going to be the next Kardashians.
And they got to get on it soon because all of our emotions are heightened right now, right?
No, like they need to start filming next week.
I know. We'll see. We really hope so. And obviously, like, we think it would do well, but we'll just have to see.
No, it'll do great. Like I said, it's all over my For You page. Yeah. Everyone's watching.
Everyone. It's crazy.
But if Whitney doesn't do it, she's told me she won't do it.
Yeah. When did she say that?
At the viewing party.
Okay. She's like every other day back and forth. Like it's like one day she will, one day she won't. So I
feel like
know.
A part of you would probably be like, no, I want to come back to like prove myself.
Like a redemption arc.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's what I think.
But then I think the other part is also how much hate can you handle? Like if it goes bad again, like if you can't redeem yourself.
Well, that's where I think she needs to change her strategy and not come back leaning into it like she's doing right now. No, she was herself. That's the problem. I hate to say it. I'd say this to her face though. Okay. That was the problem is I truly don't know if she knows how to do it. I really don't. And speaking from what I saw and then also Michaela having a friendship with her and Michaela feels even stronger than I do. Like we've been at a few events together. Yeah. Michaela won't even sit by her. Like we have to make sure they're separated. Like, really? Yeah. So Michaela's known her a lot longer and better than I have. And she feels that way too. So I think if Whitney, here's the other thing. Maybe once she has her baby, it could change because there is something to be said about pregnancy
hormones. That's why I feel so bad.
Yeah, me
At
too.
the viewing party, I just wanted to hug her and be like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it does suck. And like all of us in our group chat right now, like it's everyone but Whitney. We're all like, should we reach out to her? Like we've really been struggling with it. But then we see her TikToks and we're like, and Macy texted her and she didn't text back. So we're like, what do we do? We don't really know.
Yeah, Macy is kind of like the
still,
lifeline.
Yeah,
she's the lifeline. And is she going to grab it or is she not going to grab it is the question.
And maybe right now is not the right timing. Maybe she needs to have her baby, get level-headed, but I don't know.
But you would film with her.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't think anyone would refuse. Like, Michaela maybe wouldn't love it, but I think she would do it. Because here's the thing. Again, if she just apologized and had a little accountability, I think all of us would be able to move on.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that she's leaning so hard this way that we're like, okay, well, what are we supposed to do then?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
So if she didn't do it, do you feel like there needs to be someone to replace her?
Yes and no. I hope she comes back because we do need
a villain.
Yeah. I don't want to say that, but it's true.
But like, that's the thing. Like, if
and
she
who else
back,
is going to be the villain? I don't want to be the villain.
Yeah.
Like, none of the girls do. And I don't want to turn on any other girls because I love them. So that scares me.
But then Whitney would have to sign up for that again.
Yeah, she would. And I don't blame her if she doesn't do it again. Like, her mental health is obviously more important. So like, I don't blame her either way, but I would love for her to come back and get a redemption, you know? But no, so what I've heard is like reality TV, like the perfect number is 7. That's what I heard.
Okay.
I don't know if that's true, but like 8 is a lot.
That is a lot.
And there was like not a ton of storylines for all of us because we only got 8 episodes. So it would give a chance to like have more of us, you know, have more of a big storyline because we filmed a lot of storylines. They just didn't make it. So maybe, but also they could bring in someone new to shake things up. Maybe someone from the past. I don't know. Like, that's the scary thing is they could shake it up on us at any time. Like, someone could get dropped. Someone could get added. We don't know.
We could add Jenna.
Yeah. That's the other thing. They could bring her in. I don't think Dakota would do that. But yeah.
With Taylor?
I think Taylor would. I think Taylor's down for anything. And especially because she's like, well, if you have nothing to hide, then why not? You know? Yeah. But I think Dakota is just like, I don't want any more like things messing with my relationship, which is 100% understandable. But they did put it out there. So like, they know to expect it, you know?
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
It's messy. But here's the crazy thing. We don't drink on our show other than my flask scene. And we have this much drama. What?
No, it's Utah, baby.
It is.
I feel like this show... I know people were so nervous it was going to misrepresent the church.
Yes.
Which, because the title, that's what you think, right? The title, it's like you think church, church, church. But if anything, this show shows Utah culture.
Thank you.
To a freaking T. I'll say freaking.
And here's the thing. The church is different in Utah than it is in other states.
So different.
This is the Utah Mormon culture.
It's the bubble.
And it's nail on the head, I think.
It is so spot on. Mm-hmm. You can like almost feel like you're in the room.
Yeah.
Like if you're a Utah person, like certain
it's PTSD,
scenes,
I'm sure.
It's like, oh my gosh, like I know what this feels like. I know what this is about.
Yes.
Like we just get it.
Yes, you do.
And it's so interesting to see people who are maybe not Mormon, but Christian or Catholic. They also have a similar feeling towards religion and this like gray area.
That's what I love about our show is whether you're Mormon or Catholic or Christian or whatever religion, you can relate on some level to like either being really devout or leaving or being in the gray and having that pressure and those standards. And I think having 8 girls who are all at different levels of their faith, I thought it showcased it really well.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting to have those dynamics. And I think anyone in religion can relate. So I thought it was great because you're going to relate to someone, you know?
Has anybody apologized to you for maybe like coming at you a little too hard about doing the show?
No. I've gotten DMs from people I don't know being like, I did judge and now I watched and I loved it, but not anyone in like my real life. Like, but no one really in my real circle did come at me. But like I did have like a student make a video. Did you see that?
Yeah.
And I had a lot of conversations with her. I had a 20-minute phone call and she still did more videos. And I'm like, oh my hell. But I haven't seen anything since the show's come out if she's said anything or not. At this point, I'm like, say what you want. Like, it's fine. You know?
We're going to move past.
I also know that like people are going to jump on a bandwagon and I'm a public figure in a sense now. And so they're going to say whatever they want, you know? You have to just kind of drown out the noise.
No, you've gone from like businesswoman, influencer to reality TV star.
It's a little weird.
What's been the biggest like, oh my gosh moment? Because you've gone to LA, you've walked red carpets.
Yeah.
You've had TMZ find you.
That was insane.
Like, so many things. And I mean,
it was overnight.
I always go back and forth. I'm like, do I want to be famous? Do I not want to be famous? I don't know. So I'm like living vicariously through you. So like, let me know how it goes.
I'll let you know if it's worth it or not.
But like, I'm loving it for you.
Thank you.
Like, I'm obsessed.
We've had a lot of really cool opportunities that like I didn't think would happen, especially before it came out. We've been doing all this cool press and I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah, when you guys went to Italy, I'm like, fun.
Yes, I know. We got to do amazing things. Like we were on Nick Vial's podcast last week and I got to go to lunch with Sheena from Vanderpump Rules.
Insane.
Like, what?
And like, I know how big of a deal that is for you.
She messaged me and I was like, she's like, let's meet up. I'm like, what?
Isn't that crazy?
I'm not that cool.
Like when your star becomes your friend.
No, literally. And now we text like almost every day. Like I'm like, this is so weird. But now it feels normal because like when I met her, I'm like, you're just a normal person. Like, obviously I knew that, but when you meet them, it's just so different. But yeah, I've had like people following me that I'm like, what? Like it's so
Who's
weird.
been the biggest one that you've been like, oh my gosh, besides Sheena?
Katie from Vanderpump Rules followed me last night. Madison from Southern Charm.
Oh my gosh. All the Bravo girlies.
Yes, all of them, which is crazy because it's like a competing network.
Yeah.
Nick and Natalie following me was cool.
That is very cool.
JC Marie Smith, like I love her.
We love her.
Yeah, just people like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy.
This is crazy.
The Toast was talking about us today.
No,
I was dying.
Because I know you guys are all going to New York.
Yeah.
And I don't know what press you're doing there.
Yeah.
But if you went on the Toast, I'm just telling you right now.
I would kill you.
Don't fucking FaceTime me. I did meet Claudia. I did meet Claudia. And that was like
I was so happy for you.
That's like my Roman Empire.
It is. Well, you are Claudia for Utah. You're Turdy in Utah.
Thank you.
You remind me so much
Utah
of her.
Turdy?
Yes.
Utah Turdy. No, I'm obsessed with them.
Yeah.
And so whenever I like hear them talk about people I know, it's almost like I feel like I'm their friend.
No,
I'm like,
same.
wait, like, so like we know the same people.
Well, because they're already so relatable. And when they were talking about us, I was like, wait, what is life? Like, it was
I hope
crazy.
they follow you on Instagram.
Oh, me too. I did a
Manifest
TikTok about the show the other night and it got like 1 million views and I was wearing the Toast merch and so many people were tagging them. So I was like, dude, please see this. Like,
they're going to ask you to come on the pod for sure.
They don't have guests a ton.
I know. When they have a guest though, it's always a reality TV star.
True.
Always.
True. And Claudia did do a sponsored post for us.
Yes.
So I was like, oh my gosh.
When I saw that, I was like,
me too. I was like, what is life? Yeah. Jacqueline Hill was watching our show the other day. I was like, it's so weird because I'm like, they're watching, but like also I get it because it's huge right now, but it's
everything.
It's very, very, very surreal and I will never not be grateful. Like we've all said that as a cast, like we have to stay humble and grateful because that's who we are. Like I don't ever want any of us to get big headed because that's just like not the vibe.
Well, then it makes it not relatable and then you become a housewife.
No, literally. And people keep asking us, what's the biggest difference between you and housewives? And my answer is always that we're not wearing makeup every scene. We're not getting dressed up designer head to toe. Like we're real girls being moms in Utah. And I want it to stay that way.
It's realistic.
It is. We're genuine friends. And like, I feel like you can kind of see that authenticity. So I really hope that like it can stay that way.
Who in your circle has probably kept you the most humble?
My family, like my parents and my sisters. They've worked with me for 8 years in my business and even just having a little bit of exposure from that, they've always kept me very humble. And I always say, like, if I got big-headed, they would knock me down very quickly. Yeah.
They'd be like, Jessie.
They would roast me. Like, you're not that cool.
Like, come on, slow down. Well, because, like, even last night, you go to Post Malone and people are recognizing you. And you probably already got recognized a little bit.
Do you want to hear the cutest thing?
Absolutely.
I was not expecting this. So we're in line at Post Malone. This 12-year-old boy comes up to me. He goes, hey, can I get a picture? You're my favorite Mormon wife. 12 years old. And he was like shaking. Took a picture with me and then he kept like waving at me. It was the cutest thing. And I was like, but wait, have you seen my vagina? Like your mom let you watch that?
Like, why were you watching that show?
Yeah, but it was so sweet. And he was so cute. So that like made my day. But yeah, like getting recognized. And my friend was even like, so many people are staring at us. I'm like, I know. I heard someone be like, that's Taylor. And I'm like, hi.
Like,
should I just lean in? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's me. Do you like that? Because I think I would like it.
Yes, yeah, I do. In the sense of like, I would love to meet the people supporting and watching.
Because I feel like we're both very extroverted.
I am.
We're a people.
I am.
People. We're person. People person.
People.
We're a person.
We're social people.
We're social. You know? So like, I enjoy when a random person comes up to me and is like,
Same.
I listen to the podcast. I'm like, oh my gosh,
you would
let's
never
be friends.
want them to not say hi. Like when you met Turdy, you would not want her to be like, ew. You know,
No,
you know
people
how it
say
feels.
don't meet your heroes. I'm like, no, meet your Turdy.
No, I have met my hero and I will tell you it's like amazing, but I also get the other side of it, you know, but choose good heroes, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I think that it's amazing because I want to meet the people supporting. Yeah. I do think I have a little bit of an advantage of this that I've been teaching classes for 5 years. So I've met a lot of like my followers and my community. Yeah. So I'm so used to interacting with people who follow me. Like it's my favorite thing in the world. It's amazing. So I love it. Yeah. So no, I would never want anyone to feel too scared to say hi to me. Like, actually, this is really funny. So at the concert, I got stopped, but
Yeah.
I was like, I could see people looking at me and they just don't say anything, which is fine. I get a DM after, and I had spilled my purse. Like, it fell open on the grass, and I was like cleaning it up. As we're driving home, a girl messages me, and she's like, you don't know me, but I was sitting by you. I just didn't want to say hi, but your husband's keys fell out of your purse, and so I grabbed him and took him to guest services. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the fact that she knew me and was able to save that, because they would have been lost forever.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. Like,
that's actually
at least,
really nice.
Yeah, like it paid to get recognized, because now we didn't lose that car key. So wild though, right? That
no,
she
that's
was
wild.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, it's a cool feeling.
Have you cashed in any perks of this new reality fame?
In what way? What do you mean?
Like, I don't know, like, oh, I need to get a table somewhere.
Oh, gosh.
You know, I'm on Secret Lives of Mormon
See,
Wives.
I would never.
Or like slide into a celebrity's DM, be like, hi, just want you to know, like, I'm on Hulu too now. So
could you imagine? No, I haven't done that yet. And I will say, like, even with the business I have, like, my family makes fun of me all the time, because if someone comes up to me and they're like, your hair is so pretty, I'll just be like, thanks. Like, I will never be like, I own Jay-Z styles. Like, it's not me.
Yeah.
And so I think I have a hard time being that person.
Yeah.
So maybe that will change. But as of right now, like, I just could never.
Like, no.
But I will say, like when Jaclyn Hill posted that she was watching, I responded and I was like, oh my gosh, tell me how you like it. So like, if someone opens it up first,
then you'll do it.
Yeah, but I just
you're not thirsty, which is a good thing.
I feel too cringy. I can't.
Yeah, no, it is. But like, if I need a table at Nobu,
I mean, maybe
might be
just
like,
so I'm the
or be like,
Secret Wives
you could
friend.
pretend to be like the assistant. Be like, I'm the assistant for Jessi on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. She would like a table.
I wonder if that would work.
You should try it one time.
You should
and let
try
me know
and
if it
tell
works.
me, because I am way too embarrassed.
I literally do it for you, and you don't show up at dinner with me, and they're like,
you're like, oh, she had a flight, she couldn't make it.
So crazy.
Sorry.
My bad. Crazy.
I wonder. We have a publicist now. I wonder if that's how it works. I should ask her. Like, does that actually work?
No, especially in LA. I'm sure. I guarantee these celebrities are being like,
see, I don't see myself as that. Even the girls, like, we're getting recognition right now. But like, we're not celebrities. Like, we are influencers.
But you are now. You are now.
We're known, but like, I don't know. I just don't. Maybe over time, but like, it's weird. It's weird to feel that way.
Well, speaking of just like being a celebrity, I want to talk about the paycheck a little.
Okay.
If you can. How much did you get paid for the show?
Okay, I can't say.
Okay.
But I will say, reality TV, I don't feel like you go into that to get rich. It's more so like the opportunities that come after.
With it.
But it was amazing. Like, I probably shouldn't say this, but I would do it for free. I loved it.
Really?
Yes.
Because I was going to say, if they offered you that, because I feel like you guys deserve a raise. Okay.
Right? I know.
Like a good paycheck from this. And I'm assuming when you first do a reality show and there's no proof that it's going to be successful, you don't get a good paycheck.
You take whatever they give you.
You take whatever in hopes that it brings something better.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I wonder if they would do it if they got the same paycheck as before, and you would do it for free.
I would, just because I loved it. And
don't tell them that.
I know. I'm like, don't listen to this.
She needs at least 6 figures, you guys.
You know what? They know that about me.
Yeah.
Because like my whole cast is like, Jessi, you can't be the one that gives in. Like, we know you have money, but like, we all need to get paid.
We
right?
are all trying to provide.
Yes.
We all don't have a business.
And we do deserve that. Like, especially with the girls who were so vulnerable and showed like the bad, the good, everything. Like, they deserve anything.
Dealing with all the backlash you guys got.
Like, and if you want to continue and show up and do that, there has to be incentive, obviously.
There has to be.
I don't know how it works. I know we all have lawyers and managers and publicists that will probably guide us through that process. So we'll see if we get another season, what that looks like. But I'm not well versed in this world, so I actually don't know like how that works.
Do you know if you'll do a reunion?
I hope so.
No, you have to.
I know.
Before the show even aired, I was telling Jen, I'm like, you have to do a reunion.
I know. And it's funny because I feel like reunions are mostly a Bravo thing.
Yeah.
But I think now
Netflix started doing it too.
Oh, you're right.
Because with like Selling Sunset, Love is Blind.
Perfect Match, didn't
they? It's like a new thing that like you have to end a season with a reunion.
It's like the standard now.
It's
and
the closure.
Yeah, networks maybe don't want to like promise that until they see how the show does. But the crazy thing is, if we got a reunion, it would have to be immediately because Whitney's having her baby next month.
Yeah.
And then, you just don't know what could happen. So if we did, it would probably be soon. But a lot of people online have been like, we need a reunion. And I will say, if we got a reunion, it would be amazing right now because there is a lot going on under the surface.
A lot.
So they need it. Like, we need it. So hopefully.
Today's episode is brought to you by Anew Therapy. Anew is a mental health clinic in Sandy that specializes in ketamine. Ketamine therapy is a breakthrough treatment for those suffering from severe anxiety, depression, and PTSD, among other things. Treatments are administered in a safe and controlled environment by their team of experienced healthcare professionals. Unlike traditional medications, ketamine works quickly. On average, 80% of Anew therapy patients have reduced their depression and anxiety scores by half or more by their last treatment. I am proof of that. Most of you know this if you're an avid listener, but I completed 6 sessions of ketamine at Anew in the end of July. I have struggled with depression and anxiety my entire life and have been medicated since I was 13. So ketamine was a huge thing for my mental health journey. But one of my biggest takeaways I took from my sessions at Anew is just how important the setting is. You have to feel calm, relaxed, comfortable, but most importantly, safe. They do such a good job at creating a peaceful, zen, sacred space for you to really get the most out of your ketamine sessions. I don't think ketamine is for everyone, but I do think if you're interested in ketamine, Anew is the best place to do it. So if you're interested or have questions, visit anewtherapyutah.com, ANEWTHERAPYUTAH.com to book your free consultation today. Totally free, no obligation. And if you find that ketamine therapy is right for you, you can use code JESSI75 to receive $75 off your first treatment. And thanks again, Anew, for sponsoring today's episode and changing my life. Out of everybody, who do you think right now their life has changed the most from this show?
Probably Jen, just because like this is affecting her real life. She was very vulnerable. Taylor and Dakota as well, but like their relationship has already been out there, even though like not to this level, but Jen never really put her dynamic with Zach out there. And I think she was very vulnerable on the show. So probably her. I don't know if for better or for worse, but yeah.
Being a mom doing this show, I want to talk about that a little bit because I saw a TikTok. Someone's like, "Where are their kids?" Like, I'm like, you're annoying.
First of all, kids on like don't know how to act on camera. Like my son was in a few scenes, and he would just be grabbing the microphone above us.
And
I
like, actually really appreciate it because I thought this show was going to be way more about your families and your stories.
Yeah.
Because each of you have very good, unique, individual, inspiring stories. And so I thought your kids would be shown a lot more.
We did film with them quite a bit. It just, I think, got cut because there was only so much. Yeah.
I was happily surprised because I feel like kids on reality TV is always kind of icky to me.
I think they did it so well, like the salt cave scene. Like they showed the kids throwing the sand and
but
like
it's
hinted, but that's it.
It's not everything. Yeah. It's not the whole purpose.
And also, we would also get criticized if we put our kids on the show because then we're exploiting them. So you can't win. Yeah. You know? It's a job. Like you have to have a nanny or a babysitter while you're doing this, or your husband watches them. Like, you know.
How has Jordan felt about the show?
Jordan's great. He's so supportive of everything. Like he's just always down, and he's a social butterfly. So like he like leaned in, like he's great. I actually think next season he'll want to like even be more involved.
Yeah, for sure.
Even when we were watching,
is great for reality.
He was made for it. We call him like Scott Disick. Like he is our Scott Disick. And if you guys get to see more of his personality, you'll see that. Yeah. He filmed way more than they actually showed. But him and Dakota especially, and Brett, like they're all friends. And so I'm like, that could be some interesting content.
It would be it's a fun dynamic.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a little more about Vegas before we do Trash Topic Can. Yeah. Because the Chippendale situation.
Oh, yeah.
That sparked all the things.
And I feel guilty.
That was your idea.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that, girl? Were you trying to stir the pot?
Honestly,
just
a little bit.
Just a sprinkle of tea in there.
I mean, it worked out that way, but no, like in my head, and I live in a different reality, okay, than like most of these girls because I'm not active Mormon. Yeah. But like I've been to that show with my mom. Macy's been with her mom, and we had talked about that. So we were like, this is so funny. Yeah. It's more of a performance than anything. Half of the men are gay, and they told us that. Like, it's not like I went being like, let's go cheat on our husbands.
Well,
like,
it was mostly for Layla.
That too. Like I wanted to get her out of her shell. Like you guys have seen her. She was fresh out of her divorce. She is more reserved. I will say, like we had some experiences this summer that brought her out of her shell. You will see a different Layla.
I'm excited.
But that was like our way of trying to be like, let's do this for her. Like we wanted the attention to be on that. And my husband like was like, whatever, cool. You know, most of the husbands were. It was just the couple that weren't. But I genuinely thought it was just going to be like fun and silly. Like there's grandmas in the audience. Like it's more of a fun girls thing. And I also think it's like a little bit of a gender role thing. But like when girls go to that, we're not like, oh, we're so turned on. Like that's not what it is. But when men go to a strip club, they're just built differently.
They're getting
like,
boners.
Exactly. We're not doing that. Even rubbing the oil on.
It's
like,
almost funny.
It's funny.
It's like a funny joke where men go to a strip club to have an orgasm.
Exactly. Or get something out of it.
To get something out of it.
Yeah. Also, like this wasn't a situation where like we could pay them to give us a lap dance. Like, this is a performance. performance.
It's a show.
It is. And like while we were rubbing oil on them, like one guy was telling us about his fiance that's a nurse. The other one's gay. Like, so for me, I'm like, this isn't like whatever. But I will say I do understand. Like, let's say Jen and Taylor had been like, we don't feel comfortable being here, or like our husbands aren't. I would have been like, totally fine. We'll meet you guys back there.
But didn't they kind of do that?
No. It was more so like, here's my thing. Okay. Jen and Taylor, and I could be speaking for them, but my perception is Jen and Taylor would have stayed and been totally down if it hadn't have been for the husbands. Like, I know both of them. Taylor would have been like,
well, because nothing
so
inappropriate
fun.
Was happening.
No, and like Taylor used to swing. Like she's not a prude, you know? And Jen's so fun, life of the party, that like if she wasn't married to Zach, I think she'd be like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
That's my perception, because I see a different Jen with Zach and I see a different Jen without him. So that's my perception of it. But since they knew their husbands and boyfriends would be watching this, hearing about it, they acted so different.
Like cold, like not even
like
gonna make eye contact.
Touch. Yeah. And so, but it's because of if it hadn't been filmed, it would have maybe been different, is how I feel. So, but if they had just been like, we don't feel comfortable or whatever, fine. It was the level that like Zach and Dakota took it to that was like so hard, because I'm like, Taylor handled it well, where she's like, I don't care what you think, whatever.
Well, like she's like, I left.
Yeah, I left.
Like, what else do you want from me? That was really hard to watch Taylor. You could just tell she was drained.
Yeah, that next day when she was crying in bed, that was so hard to watch.
Like,
this season took it out of her, because pregnancy
alone takes it out of you. And then you're, showing your entire life, and it's messy.
Yeah, it is.
Her life is messy.
It is. And she is so honest. That's what I love about Taylor, is she shows you the good, the bad, the ugly. She owns her stuff. But doing this while pregnant, I think, took a toll on her she wasn't expecting. She was more emotional.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot, just since she's had her baby, like she's still dealing with things, but like she's grown so much. And I think if we get another season, she will be like able to actually like integrate into the group a little more and like hopefully show like less, like be more herself without the
because
emotions.
she wasn't able to be fun Taylor. She was every day she was just trying to get through it. Oh yeah. Wait, no, you're fine. You're famous.
Oh my gosh.
Who's calling now? Like, what do they want? We need you to speak out. What's your statement? Like, we want to know.
No, not even. But yeah, I just feel like she went through a rough time. But I commend her for showing that. Yeah. Being pregnant, even just watching yourself pregnant is hard, you know?
No, that I told you that at the beginning. Yes! I was like, how do all of you like look good from the side and stuff? Yeah. Like I turn into I morph. My body shape shifts and I look like a freaking alien. Okay.
They did as well with coloring. Like,
oh my gosh.
They did well.
You guys all looked good.
Thank
I'm
you.
like, I can't do it. People have been sending me like screenshots of me from the episode at Macy's party.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like in the background and I look insane.
What?
I look insane. I'm like,
oh my. Well, because you're like not thinking you're being filmed.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention. I'm totally. And there's like one where I'm like giving you guys like a glare, and I don't even.
Josie's the mean girl.
I literally look like the biggest bitch. I'm like, and I'm like, I don't know why I was doing that,
because you don't even know a camera's on you. Like there's so many, you just don't think about it.
I would look like a freaking Shrek if I was on television.
You wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
But you always fear that going in. Like it's
scary. Like
it's hard.
And being pregnant.
Yeah. She looked beautiful, but like she's always like, like I hate watching
pregnancy
these clips.
face.
Yeah. So it's hard. But
hard.
I think she did well for the season, considering.
She did great.
Yeah.
You all did great.
Thank you.
It has to have a season 2. I mean,
I hope so.
We all are just. We need it now.
It would be a missed opportunity because of what's going on in real life right now.
But that's the thing. Like like you said, they need to start filming now, because also you don't want every single season to be in the winter and like the fall. Like
that's the other thing.
So
if Housewives does that. Yeah. We want to show a different side of Utah.
Yeah. So if you guys can film now,
fall is beautiful.
You can get the fall. You shoot from October to November. Then you get the holidays off. I already have a plan for you guys. Okay?
She's like, I will talk to your producers.
It'll come out in February, and then you'll start filming again in May, and then you'll just do the summer. Rotation. And I think you can do like 2 seasons a year.
I do think that so getting our first season off the ground took a long time because it was the first season. Yeah, but I think I don't know, but I think since the season's established now, I think it probably would be a quicker turnover.
Yeah. Well, you have the storylines because they, like you said, there were so many storylines that the producers had to pick and work through and try to mesh it all together, where now you will have, your individual stories, and they'll figure out easier where they want to put things, how they want things to look.
Because they just had to take what they had. And I think
that make it work.
Going into making a show, I'm sure they had an idea of where it was going, and then real things just happen. You have to pivot,
Pivot.
It's pivot,
Pivot. You got to pivot. You have to.
You do.
And you're going to New York?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Are you guys all going?
So Taylor and Macy are going for press. Me, Demi, and Jen are going for press. And then Michaela's going as well. I don't know if she has press, but we're all going too because we have a billboard in Times Square. So we're going to go see it together. Yeah. So crazy.
That's insane.
When they told us that, we were like, what? Like,
no, I
why?
can't.
What?
It's craziness.
Insane. Like, crazy.
What are you going to buy to celebrate?
That's a good question. I haven't even had a minute to think about it.
You need, when you're in New York, you need to buy something.
I should, I do. I need to buy like a new bag or something, like something to
commemorate.
What's
something that you don't have?
That's a good question.
Do you have a Rolex?
No, my husband does though.
I think you need a Rolex.
Should I do a Rolex? But I don't wear, I am the worst with jewelry because I have like sensory issues. Oh, okay. So I'll wear little things, but like
Okay.
But that is a good one. That's a flex.
I'm trying to think, like,
because I have so many bags.
You have so many bags.
I don't
Jessie.
need another bag.
I really even though it is exciting, but like, you don't need another bag. Like,
you got to help me with this. It's got to be a good one.
Like, you need some, or like maybe like a diamond to add to your wedding band.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know. You need to get something to like remember the moment that you went to Times Square to see your fucking billboard.
Right, because that could never happen again. Like, that's such a once in a lifetime. Like,
you all need to do something together. Like, get like a diamond friendship bracelet. Hulu pays for it. Okay?
Yeah, like can you bankroll that?
No, literally.
That's a good idea. Like,
how to do something.
Remember when Jen Shaw got all the girls like crystal snowflakes? Yes. I need to do that for the group or something.
You got to get something.
That is a good point. I'm gonna think about something, like something to commemorate. Because what if we only got one season? We need something to remember this like journey, But
Whitney's not gonna be there. Is it because she's pregnant or she doesn't want to?
Probably both. Like, I don't think she's flying right now because she's so close to her due date, but also I don't think she would come. She actually has told everyone she's not doing press till after the baby.
Why is that? Why she wasn't on Nick Viall?
We did a lot of press in LA and she told them she wouldn't do anything. So I don't know if that's because like she's pregnant and tired or she like didn't want to answer the questions. Now that the show's out, she would get hard questions. I actually feel bad. Our Viall Files podcast, like we all kind of went in on her, but
he kind of went in on her with Taylor. And I told Taylor this, I'm like, he gets to say things because he's Nick Viall.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have to be held accountable.
No.
Nobody really, we're like, if I said something, I'd get eaten alive.
Well, because you're a woman. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Because women hate on women.
Yes, more than anyone else.
And women cancel people.
Yeah.
And men just get to walk around.
I know.
That's why Theo Vaughn exists.
No, it's so true. Yeah.
There's no female Theo Vaughn.
Nick literally read her like a book. Like everything he said, we were like, yeah. And, like, it was crazy. Like, he is very always right about his like assumptions usually. And so like it was crazy because everything he said we couldn't not like agree with. But also at the end of the day, like we're all doing podcasts. This podcast may piss people off, like, but we signed up for this. And like, TV. I would say this to anyone's face. Like I really would.
Well, once you're on reality TV, kind of anything goes.
It's true. And you have to confront your issues with people, So, and we've all made mistakes in our friend group. I think the difference is like you saw like Demi fighting with Taylor, like Layla and Jen had a huge fight in Park City they didn't show. Like we've all gotten into it. Yeah. But we've been able to move past it because we care about the friendships. So Whitney being like off is just like, it just hasn't happened, like that reconciliation yet.
Do you think after the Viall Files of all you guys comes out, it'll make things way worse?
Yeah.
That's us, plugging Nick Viall. You're welcome.
Go listen.
You're welcome.
Macy was obviously like really nice about her and defended her.
Yeah.
And Macy's such a good, loyal friend. You can't even hate her for it. Like everyone needs a Macy. Yeah. I love her.
She's a bad bitch.
She is a bad bitch. But like even Michaela like went in, like we all kind of said our thoughts. Jen was pretty quiet because I think she's still kind of like riding the fence between the two. But to me, like, we're not doing this to be mean girls. Like, this was our true experience. Things are still unresolved, and I think we have a right to speak on it because we put it out there. If we didn't have a show, we wouldn't be going off saying things on podcasts, right? So when you're asked,
I hope when Whitney feels ready, she does speak on it too.
She has every right to. We even said to Nick, like, get her on when she's willing to, and he wants to. Like, he came to our premiere party, and he was like, should I go talk to her? Like, and we were like, yeah, but she doesn't want to right now. But hopefully she'll get to a point where she can then speak her side, and not just on TikTok, but like with someone asking questions, she deserves that. We all do.
She does. But it is who knows when it's going to happen because she's having a baby.
Exactly. So, it's a tricky time right now.
It's very tricky.
And I am sensitive to that. Like, I'm not trying to dogpile on her, but at the end of the day, like, I do feel like her actions put her in this position, whether she realizes that or not. That's my view. Sure. So,
is there anything you wish you would have done differently?
A little bit, like, in the beginning, like, you're a little more nervous just because you're like, I don't want to be perceived a certain way. Like I was myself all the time, but like in the beginning, like I also like was new to the friend group. So I didn't like insert myself a ton. I'm way more comfortable with the girls now. And actually throughout the second half of the season, I think you also see that where like we're all closer and a little more unhinged. So I would just say that like if I had an opinion, like in Park City, I wish I would have defended Demi more because I did. Like I had her back when she said, does anyone feel this way? But I wish I would have, like when everyone was attacking her the first night, said more. But at the time I didn't know enough. Like I was still so new to the group.
Yeah.
So knowing what I know now, I wish I would have. But I can't like hate myself for that because I didn't know them well enough. So I would say next season, like I know whose back I would have. I know who has mine, hopefully. And I know
Demi?
yeah, you better.
Don't prove those trolls right.
Oh my gosh. No, the thing with Demi is like we've even had issues behind the scenes, but like we call each other, we work it out, we take accountability, you move on. That's what real friendship is. And that's adult friendship.
And that's also a maturity thing.
Yeah. And that's what I love
about her. You guys are like
her.
the oldest.
Yeah, she's 30.
You're the old
I'm
old
32.
ladies.
I'm old. So many comments online like Jessie could be Demi's mom. I'm like, okay, great. Let me go just like get more Botox.
Let me jump off a cliff.
No, literally, I literally I'm getting Botox after this because I'm like, kill me,
Jessie.
No. I mean, I was due anyway, but
yeah, but like you already like have done plenty.
No, I know. I'm like, do I need to dissolve
like
my filler? Am I doing too much?
You're Barbie. You're perfect.
Thank
you don't need to be doing anything.
Thanks. It's just trolls. I know that, but it was funny.
But truly, you don't need to get anything else.
Thank you. No, I'm not going to go crazy. Trust me.
Because you see the reality stars that they get picked at so much that they start changing things because some loser in their basement said to, and then it's like, no. You're gorgeous.
Good. Yeah.
Don't be doing nothing to yourself.
No, trust me. I think it's that I have like too much probably. I'm like, okay, do I need to dissolve my filler? That's
go
what
like
I'm thinking.
all natural.
I mean, never, but like Botox, I'll always have, but filler, I'm like, I could ease
Where do
up.
you have filler?
I have filler in my lips a little bit. I have
Who
half
doesn't
a syringe.
though? That's like the dumbest question. Like
honestly, I only get it to like fill in the creases.
Oh
because it makes your lipstick go on smoother.
Plump, yeah.
And then I have cheek filler, but it's like a year old at this point. So
it's
I'm
hard
like,
to.
I'm also older than like the 22-year-olds on our cast. So yeah, I'm gonna look older.
Like literally, they're 10 years younger than you.
No, literally, Layla, I forget, is 10 years younger than me.
Layla's age is just always mind blowing to me.
Me too. Her and Michaela, like they have 3 kids, so like responsible. I'm like, how? I could never at that age. No. I shouldn't have even gotten married at that age. Like, no.
Hey, but it turned out great because
it did.
Now you got a reality show and a great new husband.
Exactly. It worked out the way it was supposed to, but yeah.
Well, thanks for like letting me ask you all the questions about Secret Lives of Mormon wives. But
I have no filter, so this was great.
I was so excited all day. I'm like, this is gonna be so much fun because I just love you.
Thank you.
And I had all these questions, and I'm like, I know she's gonna answer all of them.
Oh
so
yeah,
this is gonna.
I'm an open book. That's why that's on the show because I have no
I
showed my vagina.
Part.
Like I have no boundaries.
That's the best part about you.
Thank you.
That's my favorite thing about you.
Thank
is that you are an open book, and I think that's why a lot of people you're a favorite is because you're an open book.
It's so nice. I've gotten really good feedback. I will say, like I was nervous, but it's been mostly positive. So that's great,
as it should be.
Thank you.
Well, before I let you go, we gotta do trash topic can.
Yes.
If you
so I just grab one, right?
You grab that little trash can. I think there's only 3 in there.
Okay,
I need to refill it.
So it's not gonna be that hard.
Who even knows what it's gonna say?
This is the cutest thing ever.
Teeny tiny.
Okay. Worst job you've ever had?
Worst job.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because have you done any job other than hair?
Yeah, like when I was in high school, like I worked at a pizza place, I worked at a beauty supply. I'm trying to think of like the worst one because I've always enjoyed working. Yeah. I think that's why I like work so much is it's just always come naturally to me.
You're kind of a workaholic a little.
I am.
How do you balance that with motherhood? I forgot to ask you that.
It's nuts. Like I think the biggest thing I've learned is that you have to like be 100% in what you're doing. So when I'm at work, I'm 100% there. When I'm at home, I try to be 100% there. Doesn't always work. It's like I'm a business owner. Like I have to deal with things, but I try to be present in the moment. But it's
hard
also
to clock out.
Yeah. But also like being a working mom for so long has been taboo, but now like we're in an economy where like you might need to have 2 incomes. Sorry. Like, so, and I'm also providing an amazing life for my kids. Like I get to take my son to New York this week and I get to give them things.
Are you going to take Jovi too?
No, she's a nightmare.
You're like,
absolutely not. Just him.
Whenever anyone asks me if I'm taking my kids on trips, I'm like, they go to Disneyland and that's it.
Yeah. I'll take them when they're under a year because they're easier.
Yep.
And then you stop at 2 and 3. But now that he's 4, I'm like, okay,
and
he's
they're
a little
potty
easier.
trained.
Yes. She's almost 2, like nightmare age. So fun, but like awful.
So cute.
But both my parents, like my in-laws and my parents are coming. So like we have help with him. So I'm like, this is his trip. Because he has like, with the baby, like he had some jealousy. So he's going to love this. Like he knows we're going to M&M factory. He's so excited. But yeah, like I give them really cool experiences and I provide a good life for them. I think the turning point for me would be if they wanted like the nannies more than me, I would be like, oh shit, that's a problem. But they're always like, Mom, like they
excited.
Yeah. So I think that's good because I'm giving them that quality time when I'm home.
Well, motherhood is a relationship. It's not a job.
You're right. Yes.
Like your kids should want to be with you and they should want to love you. They shouldn't just look at you as the maid, the cleaner, the chef, the homework helper. Like,
that's just a part of it.
That's just part of having a home and like being a parent or a homemaker. But motherhood is a relationship. And I think you're really good at creating a really good relationship with not just your kids, but your stepdaughter too.
Oh yeah. Like she's the best. And I think that's important as well when you have a stepkid to make them feel a part of the family.
Important.
Yeah. One of my friends said once, her name's Krista, she said, we're not raising children, we're raising adults. And I loved that because I'm like, no, like you're not just doing the kid stuff right now. You're raising the relationship you're going to have with them in the future. Right.
Absolutely.
So you have to think of it that way.
It's a forever type of relationship.
Yeah.
One that hopefully you keep forever. I always get sad when I hear people that don't talk to their parents. I'm like,
oh, I know.
What?
It's hard. And I know some parents can be toxic, but I couldn't imagine. Like my parents are so great. I'm so lucky. But and wouldn't that break your heart like your kid? Like I would die.
I told my therapist, I'm like, I just know one day, like, what if they tell me that I ruined them by like
or
doing
when they
something?
hate you as teenagers, it's inevitable, but like, no.
Like we all are trying our best.
I know. And they'll see it one day. Like now you have so much more respect for your parents, right? Being a parent. But no, I would say the worst job I've ever had is probably I worked at a water park when I was 17 and I had to sit in the hot sun all day long and just like tell people they could go down the slide.
Though?
Probably more sunburnt though, because I have terrible skin. Like I just burn so easily.
But Jessie, you're so golden.
I mean, it's definitely a spray tan. It's not real.
We're rubbing this baby on.
I'm like every single week I get one.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably that just because it was in the hot sun. But also when you're 17, what job's great, you know? But I love my job now. Like I'm so lucky.
You've turned your job into not only a job, but a freaking empire.
Like, and like it supports my family, like my sisters, my parents. Like it's really, really cool what I've been able to do. And even before the show, like I have an amazing life. So the show's just like a cherry on top, which is cool.
I feel like the worst job I ever had was I was a scam artist because I was part of an MLM.
Oh, you've told me about this. At first I thought you were being serious. I'm like, you were Jen Shaw.
I was a scam artist. No, I feel like anyone in an MLM has like a little scam.
Yeah.
Like,
but you go into it blind, I'm sure.
You go into it blind. There's like MLMs that are real, like doTERRA.
Yes.
And
when they're legit companies.
Yeah. But like the ones that are, you're like, what are you selling?
Yeah.
And it's like an idea.
Wait, what was it?
Oh, I did multiple. I did. I don't want to like get sued for slander. Let's just say
you can tell me after.
One of them doesn't exist. It was called 3Works.
Okay.
Doesn't exist anymore.
What was it?
No idea. It was for like sports gambling or something.
You're like yes, come gamble with me. Zach would have signed up.
That's how but that's what's so crazy is that's how I met majority of people who've been on the show.
Insane. Wow.
Literally a lot of people that have sat in this chair, I like message them. Like
you are so good at that, like putting yourself out there. That's
you gotta
so
shoot
scary.
your shots.
You do. What's the worst that can happen?
Who cares? We're on a floating rock. Fuck
exactly.
It. Like, just do it.
If they say no, they say no. But I think that's why you're so good at this, because you can like just network and talk to people, and if you're not going to be offended, you know.
No, and you can't be offended.
No.
It takes the fun out of it. You have to have a million no's before you get a yes.
Yeah.
So just like
that's true. What did Kris Jenner say? She said like if you're hearing no, you're like talking to the wrong person. Yeah, I love that. That's
you just got to work your way. So like, it was the worst job I ever had, but it prepared me for the job I have now.
It was a stepping stone.
So here we are.
Yeah. Everything
Scam artist podcaster, baby. Except I just want to clarify, like, I didn't know I was scamming people. Like I thought I was going to get rich.
Yeah. You were a naive scam artist.
I was like, yeah, sign up under me. And then I'll
Did you make money?
No. I didn't make a fucking dollar.
Were you married yet?
Yes, it was when I was trying to find myself.
Okay, yeah, we all go through that.
Because I got married at 20, the typical Utah thing. And I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
Oh my gosh.
Am I going to go, I tried to do aesthetics. I hated that.
Yeah. You know, it's so Utah of you to do an MLM though.
It's so
like,
on brand.
you need to be in Mom Talk because you are so Utah.
On brand. Well, Jessie, I love you. Thanks for coming.
I was so excited.
What was your drink of choice? Diet Coke?
Yeah, I should have brought swig, but the line was so long.
I know you texted me like, do you want any swig? I'm like,
and I know you don't drink soda, but
I'm
like, maybe she drinks flavored water.
And Unbreakable.
Yes, you know.
Water.
Yes, those are good. But no, I had to stop and get a big gulp. It's just Coke. But I'm
Coke.
I'm a Coke.
Straight
I like Coke and Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
But at the gas station, they don't have all the flavors and stuff, so it's just
unless
normal,
you go to the good gas stations.
True.
Holiday. Doesn't Holiday have all the flavors?
Yes, they do. I think I went to 7-Eleven.
Get on it, 7-Eleven. All right.
Yes, my drink of choice.
Well, love ya. I hope you have the best time in New York City. Can't wait to see all the content, all the podcasts.
Are you having anyone else from the show on?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I can't wait to listen. It'll be interesting to see everyone's perspectives, like hear everyone's.
It's already interesting to just like know you guys and just be like,
Have you interviewed all of us already?
All of you have been
Shut
on.
up. Yeah, that collage you put together, I was like, wait,
all of
you are the
all
OG supporter.
8 of you.
Insane.
And it's crazy. I think the most crazy out of it is Layla.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she's always been like an underdog in
Yes.
the number world of social media.
Yeah, she was kind of a micro influencer, but she is growing a ton right now. It's
I love watching it. I literally get like pumped up for her.
Me too.
Like,
I'm a Layla stan.
I like refresh her page and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Like, work it, girl.
It's insane. Every time I like log in, it's like 10,000 more. I'm like, what is happening?
It's amazing.
No, truly, it's weird.
And so it's crazy that like I had Layla on when she like very first started, and it's funny because she's always like, I was so boring when I came on, and I just think she was going like she was still married.
She's a
at
new
the time.
Layla right now,
and
I'm
I
telling
think
you,
the Layla that you'll hear next time on Weekly Trash will be.
I can't wait.
A very good time. A lot different than the first one. That's for sure.
And that's so cool that you're going to have everyone on like for a second time because before the show, you had all of us on. Like now it's a different
world.
Interview. Yeah.
It's different.
I'm excited to hear.
It's different. Now I have freaking producers asking me for copies of audios. I'm like, fuck!
I'm legit now.
Like it's legit.
Well, the bigger you get, that will happen more and more.
I know. It's one of those things where I'm like, okay, put your big girl panties on, Josie.
Can we also say how full circle you have come since our last interview? Like you
crazy.
Are killing it. Your guests,
Thanks,
like your whole structure, like it's so genius. Like I tell everyone, I'm so proud of it. Like you're so proud genius of you. At all this. So
I just love you.
Love you.
Thanks for
having
talking me up. I love it. Have the
fun.
best week, you guys. If you haven't already watched Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like, what are you doing?
And
go watch it.
We have a code right now.
Yes, that's right. If you don't have Hulu.
Yes. Maybe you could put it like in the description box or whatever, but I'll send it to you.
Yes.
But we have a code right now. Hulu's offering 30 days free. So you can watch it for free if you sign up. Or it's on Disney Plus.
Is there like a code or is it just a link?
It's a link. So like I'll send you the link.
Okay. I'll put it in the description so you guys can all go get Hulu for 30 days. Also, I started Tell Me Lies because you guys were all at that premiere.
We all went to the premiere. It was so good.
It's freaking porn.
It's very sexual.
I was so turned on. I turned it off and I was like, Pedro, we're having sex. And he's like, what were you watching?
So maybe girls do work that way. You're the exception.
No, I was like, what are you watching? He's like, what are you watching? And I'm like, it was just a show. And he goes, it's my new favorite show.
He's like, hell yeah.
Because it got me going.
Oh,
so,
yeah. No,
go on
we're
Hulu.
Obsessed.
Get Hulu.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I love you.
Love you.
Have the
Thanks
best
for having
week,
me.
you guys. And don't forget to take out your trash. Bye.